Thanksgiving, our United States Thanksgiving holiday, I got sick, and I only very slowly got better up until about like last week. So, sorry about the massive delay. It wasn't expressly because I was sick. I don't think I even told Neil that I was sick.
It was a few reasons. That was part of it for some of it. It was also just timing.
Yeah, but mostly because Neil hadn't finished Silk Song.
While we were putting it off for me to finish Silk Song, which is done.
Yay!
But before we talk about that, I just want to know, I hope you're feeling, actually fully better now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I might cough a little bit, but,
Okay.
I'll mute my mic or whatever.
That's fine.
Um,
I'm just glad to hear you're doing better.
I feel good enough that I can have my 9:30 p.m. coffee.
Yum.
Yeah, it's one of these La Colombe, not sponsored by the way, draft lattes. I get it from Costco, and it comes in 3 flavors. You have like the caramel, the vanilla, and the chocolate or mocha, or whatever you want to call it.
Is it caffeinated?
It's coffee. Yeah, it's like
It's not okay.
It's like a
This seems
refrigerated
late at
canned
night
coffee.
to be having some fucking caffeine, but
I had a rough day yesterday, man. Let me tell you.
That's fair. That's fair.
I had a lot to figure out, but long story short, I was up until like 4 a.m.
Oh,
because
jeez.
my partner, she works at a casino, so she has these really late shifts, and we had to figure out how we were gonna get back and forth. And I was like, I'll just hang out at the casino for 8 hours, I guess. Which, by the way, is not a great decision if you're trying to save money. Thankfully, I actually took a break from being in the casino because casinos smell pretty heavily of smoke because people smoke in there. And I was like, I need to get
Fair.
out of here. So I went back to the car and I just sat in the car and I watched the Game Awards on my phone because I had put it off.
Wow.
Yeah. So just imagine someone sitting in the parking garage with a blanket, like bundled up, staring at their phone, watching Jeff Keighley.
Oh boy.
Try and make a show of things coming up. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. How have you been, Neil?
Yeah. Hi everybody. Oh, I've been seemingly better than that.
Seemingly.
Nothing crazy. I had a doctor's appointment that I wasn't able to go to because public transit
Oof.
had an emergency that stopped me from being able to go.
Oh, did you get a note?
No.
Oh.
I just called them and was like, "Hey, literally the trams stopped running, so I can't make it. Sorry."
In Japan, they literally give you an apology letter if the transit is ever like more than 2 minutes late.
Oh, I wish.
And then you can use that to go to your work and be like, "This is why I was late." Because everything is supposed to be so punctual over there. Kind of a far throw from how it is here in the States, but
Ain't that the truth? But hi, everybody.
we're late.
And welcome to the Audio Games Podcast.
Video games, hello. Oh, wow, we did it at the same time.
I'm Neil.
I'm Matt.
And we do have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to unpack. So
Did you
even before...
want to hit the Game Awards first? Just because...
I feel like we won't get to the other stuff if we go right into the Game Awards.
Okay.
Just to work through the most important things, at least as far as I'm concerned. You saw the stuff from Valve, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we should probably talk about that.
Their Steam machines that are coming.
Right. So the last big thing that Valve put out was the headset, the Index. And when the Index came out, a Half-Life game came out.
Mm-hmm.
And now a lot of people are speculating that once this hardware lands, there's going to be another Half-Life, which, it's been a long time. But for me, the most exciting thing is that the new VR headset that they're putting out, the frame, the Steam frame, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
It's gonna run on ARM architecture, ARM, which is not typical for anything Valve. They're very much a PC-oriented platform, and even when they put out the Steam Deck, it was Linux-based, but they created a translation layer, so that you could run basically your entire Steam library. There's a few games that seem like they have some issues, but by and large, more than 90% of the Steam library runs on a Steam Deck, and that's Linux. So Linux has come a long way. because of Valve's inclusion. Um, so now that they're making the Steam frame, they've already went public saying they're going to be using Proton, which is their translation layer, to do a translation layer for ARM-based architecture, meaning that things that are ARM-based, like your phone or like anything Android, those are going to receive basically first-party support from Valve to get games from the Steam library working on that, and it's going to be open source, just like because Proton is open source.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's basically saying that sometime next year, when the frame goes live, we're also going to be able to play most of the Steam library on our phones, which is going to be incredibly disruptive to a lot of marketplaces that they have historically tried to have a stranglehold on how things work on their devices. Now, I don't know how Apple's going to approach this, but they've already gotten in hot water with Epic Games about like how they use their walled garden approach to
Yeah. They
dictate what was allowed.
I'm pretty sure last time we had an update on that was they didn't open it up the way the courts said they had to, and they got in trouble about that. And who knows if they've actually opened it up the right way this time.
All I can say is I'm glad I don't have any Apple products where I have to worry about it.
Same.
Not that I play Fortnite or whatever, but Um, so that was exciting for me. There's also they're doing the Steam machines again. They're
Mm-hmm.
kind of revamping that program. A lot of people didn't even realize that that was already a thing they tried. Um,
Like a
but
decade ago now.
and the issue with that when it first launched was like, you and me, we looked at each other like, who is this for, right? But with chip prices for things like Snapdragons coming down while the power is going up, I think that there's going to be a humongous shift in like what kind of hardware is used to play games.
Mm.
I know we're in a dystopian AI future outlook where a lot of like visual memory VRAM on GPUs is like being utilized very heavily for AI calculation. And so there's a lot of concern over like what does that mean for gaming. Um, and I think that this would be like a forward-looking way to try and mitigate a lot of that. Because let me tell you, I have a new device, a new succulent Chinese device that I've been using that uses ARM architecture, and it runs a Snapdragon 8, and it runs everything that I want it to. Which is like kind of confusing and mind blowing to me because I've never really looked at my phone as like a gaming device, and that's on me because I was always a either a console gamer and then like into my late teens I was exclusively a PC gamer, and yeah. So to talk a little bit more about that, I bought a device called an AYN Thor. It is a device it's supposed to be for emulation. They don't pretend like it's something else, but it's a dual screen device. It's a clamshell that mimics the DS or 3DS form factor. So it actually has two screens. The top one is full HD 1080p. The bottom one is a custom resolution, which is slightly less wide.
Mm-hmm.
But it's having something that I can just kind of throw in my pocket and then grind an RPG on the top screen while listening to Twitch or a podcast on the bottom screen is it's so convenient. Like I love my Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a great thing, but when I bought it, I was like, I'm gonna take this thing everywhere, and I just didn't because it was heavy, and then it has its own little case that you have to put it in, and then you have to figure out the charging situation because it has a lot of battery drain, and it's just like I can't bother to like I'm going out for like 2 hours. Like there might be some point where I'm waiting for something that I'd want to like play something, but I can't justify bringing a Steam Deck with me. I look like a chud carrying that thing around.
I mean, even the Switch was kind of
Yeah.
marketed that way, and the size just always made it feel prohibitive to actually take anywhere for me. I I played through a lot of Mario Odyssey in handheld mode, but it was because I was like taking it to the laundry room in my building and playing it in there while waiting
Yeah.
for my laundry. It wasn't because I was like going on the bus and taking it somewhere, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm at that point in my life where I feel like I can't I can't be seen with a like a what is essentially a phablet, like just for gaming, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and no shame to people who enjoy using their devices in that way, but for me, like I don't like to carry a lot, and this is like the perfect solution for me. Um, I mean, I don't know like if I would recommend it for everybody because it's really fiddly. There's a lot of setup involved, but I love that kind of stuff. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
blast just getting things configured and figuring out what kind of like launch platform I wanted to run. But look at videos online if you're curious about it. It's just a neat thing to look at, really. So take a look and decide for yourself. But I think that that's a good philosophy to go into to talk about the Game Awards. Unless you have other
Mm.
things you want to talk about. I know
No,
you
no, no.
you want to talk
Let's
Silk
hit Game
Song, but
Awards and
I
stuff.
feel
We'll
like
we'll talk about our the games we've been playing later.
yeah, I feel like we can weave Silk Song into this. But uh,
So, all right. First off, Game Awards I've been very critical of for years. Uh
yeah, yeah.
y'all have heard it.
Well, yeah,
Um I really just like didn't have a desire to engage with the Game Awards this year. It's because like we make a podcast, I pay attention to games. It's not like I'm not going to find out what was announced and pay attention to what won, but actually sitting through that experience just I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do less at the time.
yeah. It killed 3 hours while I was waiting in the car.
Yeah.
So
For me it was like I kind of put a little bit of it on at the like last half hour of my workday, and then I did other stuff for an hour and a half, and then I just sort of skipped through a whole bunch of what was going on and watched some of the announcements, saw some of the awards, but wasn't really watching it. Um, I will say, with the little bit I did see, I was happy to see that one of the awards people went up to talk. One person said some stuff, they started playing the music, and the other person was like, "Oh, I actually want to say a few things too," and they stopped playing the music and like let
yeah,
the other person talk. Like, good job, Game Awards. You did like the bare minimum on that one, but it was nice to see that happen instead of some of the other nightmares we've seen in that Game Awards thing.
sure.
Um, but for the most part, like I'm still just wildly disappointed by how much of the Game Awards are the awards part of it are shoved off onto this thing where it's just Keeley being like, let me say fighting game of the year. Here's the 5 fighting games this one won, and then here's the gaming streamer of the year, and here's 5 names and this one won, and just like shotgunning them that way is still super disappointing to me. In like, I don't even care about a lot of those awards, but it feels really bad to me to not give some of those smaller awards that aren't up for like 9 different big awards a chance to maybe actually say a few words instead of seeing the Expedition 33 people go up like 6 times and say things 6 times.
Yeah, they were running out of things to say.
Yeah,
Um,
and like so I find it really disappointing to still be in that situation. It just doesn't make me want to engage with the award ceremony itself.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, just to piggyback on what you're saying, yeah, Keely has like these rapid fire segments where he just does 3 or 4 of these. But for me, the most annoying part is like they say the time the Game Awards is starting, and then you tune in, and then it's 30 minutes of what they call the pre-show where Keely isn't even fucking
oh,
there,
yeah.
and they like
Yep.
they rattle off some like, and then like when Keely shows up, he's like, "Here's my first world premiere." It's like, dude, there were like 2 before you even showed up.
Mhm.
Like, you can't pretend it's the first world premiere. I know that you're highlighting it as the first big one, but like you were showing stuff and like you had that lady naming off awards before the show technically even started by your definition. And it's just like, well, what kind of show are we running here? And I get it. These are big productions, you know. I understand that like they have to allot a certain amount of time for announcements that companies certainly pay a lot of money to have on this stage. Um, and it's well known that it's a mix of like here's the things that people paid for time and here's the things that like we decided we wanted to highlight.
Hmm.
Um, but even outside of that, like the committee that votes on these, like we talked about this last time, but like the actual voting that we do as like the public accounts for like 20% of most of these. And this is even more highlighted because there's a community voice award, whatever they call it, or gamer's choice, I don't
Something
know.
like that, yeah.
And that's they highlight saying like this one is 100% you guys deciding, which is just implicitly saying that yeah, we don't let you decide most of these actually. So,
Yeah, you're more like
yeah.
a tiebreaker than anything else.
Yeah. And so, you know, you see things like, oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza won best family game. I'm like, yeah, I guess. Well, you see Mario Kart World win best racing game. I'm like, okay. I feel like a lot of people were really upset about what they did with that game, actually. Um, but you know, they have their committee, and Nintendo's
Yeah.
got to win something, so they throw them a couple of bones here and there so that they can show the 3 extra seconds of the Mario Galaxy trailer that we didn't get to see before. And it's just like this is a corporate nightmare.
It sure is. I will say I was surprised at how little Kojima seemed to be in the show. Not
I
even
think
just
he
as a person, but even like the awards. Because
there
I,
was a meme going around where like after Expedition 33 won Game of the Year, spoilers for people who didn't watch. Um they like people took screenshots and made it seem like Kojima was leaving early. It's like he's not sticking around for this anymore. Um yeah, you know, I think that maybe he won't be treating Keeley as kindly moving forward cuz boy, were there some nominations for Death Stranding 2 and no wins.
yeah, no wins and shockingly no Kojima up on the stage to even just say like, "Hey, I have other games too," you know?
A lot of discarded bingo cards, let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, let's actually go through and talk about what was shown. So how much did you actually watch? Did you catch the beginning with Keeley and
I would
him talking about
say
his personal life awkwardly?
in all honesty, the amount of time I actually watched the show was probably about a half hour.
Okay, so a half hour into the actual show, quote
No,
unquote.
no, no. I mean, like, a half hour is the amount of total time uninterrupted that I watched without skipping through stuff.
Oh, okay. Um, all right. Well, I watched the beginning multiple times because I was trying to sit down and watch all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I only found the opportunity to actually do it when I had nothing else to do, other than avoid a smoke-filled room. Um, so I watched the beginning multiple times, and after the pre-show, Keeley comes out and you know he does his spiel,
Yep.
talking about how indies are important. Suspicious lack of critical words for AI this year, by the way. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I'm, I feel like maybe the industry is like kind of churning on that and being like maybe AI is good. I know that Disney recently put a humongous stake in Sora, the AI model from OpenAI. Anyway,
Which is,
not
oh, we can't get into it. This is about video games, but, like, what
well,
the
I can make
fuck
it
do
about
they
video
think is.
games. Sora's the name of the main character from Kingdom Hearts, and
No, no, no,
Disney
no,
owns
no.
Kingdom Hearts.
I know. But what I just mean is, like, Disney making that deal seems so fucking crazy to me with how much they, like, give a shit if someone draws their own Mickey Mouse and prints it on a fucking shirt and tries to sell it.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
you're just gonna let some AI thing
In
do
fact, they were
anything
openly
they want?
critical
Like,
of OpenAI. They were openly critical of OpenAI up until recently when they decided, hey, we're gonna invest
it
millions and
seems
millions of
fucking
dollars in it.
crazy to me.
Well,
Ugh.
I think the quote that I saw was like, it was more important for them to pivot and work with new technology than get left behind, is what was said. And like from a corporate standpoint, I get it. I think that it's creatively bankrupt. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Game Awards.
Game
Um,
Awards.
Keeley came out and he did this thing where he talked about, like, this was on my bingo card, by the way, where he came out and he talked about his personal life. And
Yep.
apparently, like, he didn't have the best year because his house burned down in the fires in LA. And also his father passed away. And it's just like, oh, here's this like really sympathetic moment where I'm seeing Keeley as more than just the Dorito Pope that he is. And then like he throws it to like Miss Piggy, and it's just like, okay, we're gonna have this touching moment about how your mom's here without your father because he passed away, and here's this open seat that you left for him in spirit, and then also we're gonna throw to the Miss Piggy skit where she pretends like she had an affair with you. It's like it seems like I don't there was a miss in tone there, but
Yeah.
you know,
I will say I couldn't really watch the Miss Piggy thing this year. I know he does Muppets like every year. This one was making me actively cringe,
well,
and I was just
yeah,
like, I can't watch this skit. I cannot
well,
do it.
last year they had the old dudes who just kind of ripped into Keeley, which was great
Yeah.
because it was self-aware. It's good to have that level of self-awareness. The Miss Piggy stuff towards the end, like she shows up like 3 times across the show, and then the last one is like she does a song with Rolf the dog on piano,
Yep.
and the song is just making fun of the Game Awards. So like the Muppets come there to shit on the Game Awards basically, and I'm for it. It's just the whiplash of Keeley coming out and like opening up about how he's had a rough year and how his mom's in the audience without his father, and then he does a skit about how they pretend how he had an affair with Miss Piggy. It's just like, okay, all right, that's weird. Um, but even before that, we saw a few games. Did you see the Free Shepherd?
I did.
Okay,
Uh,
don't have a
Looked
lot to
cool.
say about it. Don't have a lot to say about it. 2027 release date.
Yeah.
Can we really be showing games that aren't even going to be coming out next year? I think that's like it really set the tone for me when I was watching. I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." You know, it doesn't look like a AAA title. It's like it looks like it's something different. And then I see 2027. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna think about this for a whole fucking year.
Yeah. It looked cool, and it looked like, oh, okay, this will probably be something out in like March, and then it's 2027. You're like, what?
I mean, and I appreciate the conservative estimates considering how often delays are a thing, but
Sure.
like, come on, why are we showing games that aren't coming out next year? And then the next game they showed was Decrepit, which was like a first-person Souls-like, which is fine. You know, we dark fantasy is still a big deal, as you'll see with like 7 other games
Mm-hmm.
that were
Mm-hmm.
shown. And then we saw Audio Mech, which was a shoot 'em up procedural uh, audio reactive game from the same people that made Audio Surf. I don't know how well that's gonna do in this day and age. Um, and then
Yeah.
I just think that like that would have done a lot better maybe 5 years ago.
Well, that one's so weird to me because I really enjoy a lot of those types of games, but as a lot of I feel like the world has moved to streaming services for their music,
Yeah,
where are you going to get the music for this game now? Like you don't have the MP3s. And
that's a good point. I wasn't
that's
thinking
what it
about
is
that.
for me is like where I just find myself being like that game looks cool. I'd probably enjoy it. I like shoot 'em ups, but like I don't have a lot of new music either. Most of the MP3s I have are things that I collected a decade ago at this point.
I think maybe you're supposed to put a CD into your CD-ROM player.
Oh, that must be it. We all have those
Um,
still.
yes, absolutely. And the next thing that was shown was Pragmata, which has been shown, I believe, for 2 other game awards.
Yep.
Um,
At
it
least they're
got
showing
a
gameplay of it now though.
Yeah, they showed gameplay and they gave a hard launch date for April. I think it was the 24th. It's the game where I thought it was a Kojima game just based on how it looked originally,
Mm.
and it's really more of like an action. I don't want to like call it like a Devil May Cry, but it's an action adventure where a little girl you're using a little girl as a shield on your back. I
The
think
way
is the
I
premise.
saw it is it looked kind of like Dead Space with less gore and some weird puzzle mini game in the middle of combat.
It's Dead Space, but you have a little girl as a shield for your back.
Mhm, mhm.
And then the first thing that like it kind of like that raised my eyebrows was Bradley the Badger, which
Sure.
appears to be a mascot oriented game that is going through some sort of development hell where they're remaking the game, but the main character is discovering all the different versions. That's the how I took the premise. But clearly there's a little more going on there because it ends with like a real life sequence. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's actually going to be part of the game or if that was just for the trailer. But I appreciate the creativity there. I like that they were lampooning some of the bigger games and more viral games that we know and love. Um, and then we had a game called Stupid Never Dies, uh, which in my notes I wrote down Avril Lavigne game.
I think it was a Suda 51 game, right?
It's actually not. It's GP Track 50.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's the same people who made Devil May Cry, or some of the people. Like these are people who left studios
E-
to work on
Everything
different
about
stuff.
that game looked like a Suda 51 game to me, and I was just like, oh, wow, he's putting another one out. And just sort of,
Yes, it does look very much like a Suda 51 game, but there was not nearly enough gore for it to be his
I
stuff.
guess that's fair.
And yeah, the trailer was basically like a pop punk music video, and I thought it looked like the cringiest fucking thing ever. And then I know that my partner Jackie, she's super in to pop punk. Like she's a diehard pop punk fan. And
Hmm.
I was like, look at this trailer. And she's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And I'm like, oh, god damn it. There is an audience here, isn't there? Um, so then Keeley comes out and he's like, all right, I'm here. Here's where the actual announcements start. And then we got Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. And, I will say, happy for all the people who love Knights of the Old Republic. There was so many whispers about the reboot of that franchise that ended up getting devastated when they said they weren't doing it anymore.
Hmm.
So having them pick up those pieces and start to work again, I'm sure makes a lot of people happy. I was never one of those people who played Knights of the Old Republic, so I don't have any nostalgia goggles for this sort of thing. But whenever a Star Wars game gets shown, it has like this humongously cinematic trailer that probably looks nothing like the game. So I don't have really much of anything else to say about it other than I'm happy for the people who wanted this. Uh, and then the thing after that was Divinity 3. Um, yeah, that was a trailer.
Yeah, pretty gory. Wasn't sure what it was for quite a bit there, and then, hey,
It
check it
wasn't it
out.
wasn't it wasn't merely gory. It was just like straight up disgusting. Like there's an orgy, there's people barfing on pigs and then the pigs eat the barf. And there's fucking blood explosions and burn blisters popping and yeah, they didn't pull any punches for that one. And let me say, I'm glad. I think that it's really cool that they can show horrible, horrible things like this and have the freedom to do that. Because I think in a lot of venues it would end up getting heavily censored or rejected for whatever reason. And I think that because Divinity and Larian Studios now has so much respect behind it, they have all the freedom to do what they want, and they earned that. So
It's a
if
combo
this
of
is
that and a hey, Game Awards don't actually show up on TV anymore. If it was on TV, I don't
well,
think they would have let that trailer go.
well, sure, yeah, that I mean that's also a factor. But even so, I think that in its own twisted way, it's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Um, I have Divinity 2. I have not gotten very far in it, but maybe I'll pick it up and get through it. Probably not. I still have so many fucking games I gotta finish. And then there was Four Loop, which J.J. Abrams showed up to hawk alongside the Left 4 Dead creator Mike Booth. And boy, for having J.J. Abrams show up to talk about something, this sure looked generic. Um, so the premise was that like it's a world-ending event, and they're reprinting humans, like 3D meat printers, to come back and work on things and to like try and change things and test them to see what actually works for saving the world. Sounds suspiciously like another game that came out not too long ago. Uh, I forget what it was called, but it was like the dude who clones himself. I don't remember the name of the game, but it also
I
actually
can't
got a
remember either.
nomination.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can find it in the nominations. It was The Alters. That's what it was called. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So the Alters, had basically the same premise in a different situation. And so having J.J. Abrams come out to like show this, it felt like this is what they came up with, huh? Anyway. And then a very arty looking game, Coven of the Chicken Foot, was shown. Looks like a Baba Yaga situation and a robot. So you got like an old lady with chicken feet who can like kind of flow like Princess Peach, and a robot. And I appreciate the divergence from like the normal kind of protagonists. I think
Mm-hmm.
there should be
Mm-hmm.
more elderly protagonists. I think that's really cool. Um, I do worry that games that feature an AI companion, they're either very excellent or really frustrating. So hoping for the first one. Um,
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
and then okay, so this was a good one. Ontos. So, Frictional Games, Kepler Interactive, um, same people who made Soma, and
Yep.
this looks like it's a spiritual successor to that. It's very much about like being in a virtually manifested world, right?
Yep.
Like, so I don't know like how much people remember about the ending of Soma, but the idea was like the ultimate fate is that you upload your consciousness onto a black box that floats through space and kind of preserves humanity as like in this artificial VR environment, right? Like this little paradise. But the kicker is that like you're uploading a copy of your consciousness,
Yep.
and then you're stuck behind to like deal with the horrible fiascos left behind by mankind. Um, so I would not be surprised if Ontos is less of a spiritual successor and more like an implied sequel, right? Um,
I could see
but
it.
we'll see. We'll see. I am interested in that.
Me too. I never played through Amnesia, which is also by them. Uh, but I did play their three games before that, the Penumbra series, and I liked Soma a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
Soma's great.
Soma's great, and
There were some
I
parts about Penumbra that were like, this is kind of dragging.
oh for sure, and it feels like they really developed what they were doing over the course of those three Penumbra games, and it was really exciting. Like one of the reasons Soma I think worked so well is they had already gone through so much experimentation that now they were able to, like mechanically experimenting, that now they were able to craft a more interesting story to put these mechanics into.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and if they're just making another one, it's been like a decade or something, like that's really exciting.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for like a Halloween window so that you can end up playing it for October next year.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I don't think they gave a specific date. And then they showed Leon Kennedy is in Final Fantasy,
Final
Resident Evil.
Fantasy, Leon Kennedy, my favorite.
Leon Kennedy and no, it's Resident Evil Requiem. Yeah, so the game was largely featuring a new protagonist, and that really made me not care about it because it seemed like I don't know, I just didn't see what her connection to the overall plot of these games was, and so I kind of zoned out. And I admit that I know that Leon has kind of devolved into an action hero at this point, but god damn it, I love the guy. So, I followed him from his doughy green beginnings with the Raccoon City Police Department, and now he's getting his flowers, so to speak, um, with Requiem, where he's gonna get to just be the badass action hero that he deserves to be, alongside the B side of this new character. And this is what they did for Resident Evil 2, right? It was an A side, B side. One was more of an action hero, the other one was more of a survival horror, and I think
Sure.
that worked out really well. So I'm hoping that this kind of carries on that tradition instead of like which was it, the Resident Evil 7, where they had like five different protagonists,
No, that was
and
6. 7 was
that was six.
the
Oh,
like
so yeah, seven.
Louisiana one.
Yeah, 7 was the first person one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they also did show that you could play as third or first person in Requiem, so that's cool. Um, and then like him or hate him, apparently Jonathan Blow has been working on another game. As a big Witness guy, I love the Witness. Braid was okay. I don't have any big love for Braid. He made a game, or he's making a game called Order of the Sinking Star, and it does not pretend to not be a Jonathan Blow game. Let me tell you. Um,
Sure.
it. Did you see the trailer for this, Neil?
I did. I watched the trailer in large part because I've enjoyed some of Jonathan's other games. I don't know that I'm going to give this one a shot because, frankly, Jonathan Blow has gotten worse and worse. It feels like every time I check in on anything.
I mean, I haven't checked on in on him, and it's probably to my benefit.
Yeah, fair.
What you want to give me a little taste of what's been going on
He
with him?
he has just appeared to be on more or less the wrong side of most political issues.
Oh,
I will
well,
put it lightly that way.
okay. Hmm.
Not someone I really want to give much support to anymore, unfortunately, because I really do like The Witness a lot. I think it is a great puzzle game.
Well, maybe that star really is sinking.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, that's unfortunate. And then Exodus got shown, and it looked like Returnal.
Yep.
That's all I really have to say about it. It looks like Returnal. I believe it's Sony Studios as well, alongside.
Which was also funny considering there is like a spiritual successor to Returnal actually coming out called Soros, and it's like, what? All just making another
Yeah.
game that looks like it? What's happening here?
Like, it looked like a pretty generic thing until I started seeing, like, the enemy shoot bullet patterns that were very distinct. I was like, oh, this is like a Returnal. And then it wasn't, but it also was.
Yeah.
Um, and then we got Dungeons and Dragons Warlock, which had a trailer and there's nothing of gameplay,
Yep.
but they promise that you will be a warlock. I mean, I was never a big warlock person when it came to Dungeons and Dragons, or really any tabletop stuff. You know, I do think that it's one of those edgelord classes, but hey, people love edgelord games, so
Well,
who
look,
knows?
sometimes you want to be an edgelord and you don't want to be a rogue.
Yes, but I would argue that you could be an edgelord as any class if you do enough thinking. But hey, you know, I'm just a DM. I'm the one who
Uh-huh,
has to do
uh-huh.
all the thinking. Oh, by the way, I did get a Daggerheart. I bought the core
Oh,
system
cool.
just as an aside.
That
I've
system
been
looks really interesting to me.
yeah, I appreciate that the character building results in basically you build a little deck, because I think that the biggest issue for new players is they don't really understand what's available to them at any given moment, and when you just hand them a card that shows them able to do like this cool thing, like
Hmm.
it's a lot more like they want to play that card, right? They
Yeah.
want to participate, as opposed to, like, you know, muddled looking over a character sheet and not realizing what's available at any given moment. But yeah, you know, I think maybe that'll be something that we look into a little bit more later after I finish going through the manual. Um, but anyway, yeah, that was the Warlock is a game by Wizard of the Coast. Again, nothing was shown.
Hmm.
It's just
Hmm.
the trailer and the edgelord character. And then the next one I think is going to be important for you. Control Resonant.
Hell yes.
I will say
Uh,
I'm not a big Control person. I'm not a big Alan Wake person. However, this was a very distinctly interesting looking trailer.
yeah.
And despite not playing Alan Wake, I did recognize it as a Control game because of the voices of the robotic voices. I don't know what they call it, but the 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 two speaking entity, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's fucking Control, isn't it? And then it was Control. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's a big enough thing that even though I don't really care for it, I still recognize it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you recognize that I wouldn't know was going on?
So the main things you would recognize, or that I recognize that you wouldn't necessarily have, are just some of the characters.
Okay.
Specifically, like it seems you are playing Jesse's brother in this one,
Hmm.
who's a big character, but like very much a background character in that first Control game.
Okay.
Um, but the thing that really jumped out to me about it was they made it look like a fucking action ass action game. Like this character looks
Yeah.
like he's doing melee, not guns. If they're giving you
Yeah.
powers like in Control, that's gonna be fascinating. This looked like fucking Remedy's take on Devil May Cry in their Control universe, and it's like, what the fuck is happening here? This is awesome.
Yeah, I think that one of the big things for Control that like made me not interested was that it kind of devolves into like a cover shooter.
Mm-hmm.
A- And there was no lack of cover shooters at the time, and I was like, I can't. I don't it feels bad to look at this stuff all the time, and then also the gameplay is not compelling to me. But I can still appreciate that it was a very visually distinct trailer with lots of cool fractals with pigeons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like a good pigeon fractal. All of you who listen, who've been listening for a long time, know that I love a good pigeon fractal.
Yeah,
So,
talk
you
about
know,
it at least once a year.
they won me over on it. So that's gonna be a thing. I don't think they gave a date for that either,
I
unfortunately.
don't think they did.
And then they showed Gang of Dragon, which is certainly a name. Um, it's a Yakuza developer game, but it's its first project outside of Sega. So I think that it's not going to be in the same universe per se, but it certainly looks like it's still Kamurocho based on what was shown. Um, but yeah, it's going to be organized Japanese crime drama. So if you're into it, you're into it, and I know some of you are. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that's
Mm-hmm.
good. You play as like a big burly dude. Um, and I know this isn't necessarily a game, but they made a big fucking deal out of the Street Fighter movie.
Oh
Um,
boy.
they brought the whole cast with them. They probably all flew together on the same plane. And then the funny thing for me, like I have no strong feelings about the film and as what was presented. I know that it seems like they really do care about like fan service, but there's a fine line, man. You know this. There's a
Mm-hmm.
fine line between like how you handle fan service, and I don't know if I trust that they did it correctly. And also, Jason Momoa as Blanca's fucking what?
It's a
And then
choice.
Roman Reigns as Akuma. Like they cared about a lot of like the correct casting based on ethnicity up until that. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll have Roman Reigns as Akuma. Um, whatever. Like it's a Street Fighter movie. If this one isn't good, give it another 4 or 5 years. We'll get another Street Fighter movie. Um, but like the funny thing for me was like they came out and like we're not the only ones who care about the fans, which is why we brought the cast of Mortal Kombat 2. And then like they like kind of threw to the wings to be like the cast of the Mortal Kombat 2 movie was gonna come out, and then they didn't, and like, oh, that's right, they only care about money. And it's just like, wow,
Yeah, that
really,
that guy the way the rest of the people were reacting on stage with him made me think he might have improved that joke and it
yeah, he might have
really did
improv
not
that.
fucking land.
Well, I don't think that Jeff Keighley would necessarily want that. What if he wants the Mortal Kombat people to show up next year?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the same time, Mortal Kombat people typically have a pretty good sense of humor, so I think that it'll be fine. But that's also just like such a weird attack. That was
It
very
really was.
aggressive. And then we had the Lego Batman game. It looks like a Lego Batman game, but
Yep.
big. And then we had two Tomb Raider games announced. And so Keeley was like fucking teasing two things. Um, he was teasing fucking Katana Zero, whatever it's fucking called, Phantom Blade Zero,
Phantom Blade Zero, yeah, yeah.
and the Tomb Raider stuff. Like from the onset, he was just saying we're gonna have Tomb Raider, we're gonna have Phantom Blade Zero. Stay tuned, and like don't get me wrong, Tomb Raider stuff looked fine, but I don't understand why he kept teasing it like it was a big fucking deal. And I feel like he must have been under some sort of contract where he had to say it multiple times. But so there was two projects. There's Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is apparently like a remake of the. Well, no, Catalyst is a continuation, or is it a separate story from what the more recent games has been? I don't really know. And then Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis is a remake of the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a reimagining, I guess. I don't know. I hope that it's not just a remake because it needs a lot more than a remake to bring it up to modern standards. I don't know if you played that game,
Not in a
but
long
boy,
time, but the last time I tried to, I remember being like, eesh. This
yeah, it's
controls
basically
like garbage. This is not very fun.
so the thing about Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider games, is that it's tank controls.
Yeah.
It's like over the shoulder third person tank controls, where Lara has the turn radius of a tank,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
real
just like
bad.
it's real bad. So yeah, I can do with a reimagining. Um, and this one was actually very interesting to me. The Forest 3. Um, so obviously this is a supposed to be a sequel to um the Forest games that have been released on PC. It's the survival horror ones.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very much sci-fi. You know, the original ones were like set in a contemporary setting. And then we had Sons of the Forest, which was the sequel to the Forest, and then now we have Forest 3, which is like sci-fi haunted planet situation. But just the idea of them taking it to a very different place was interesting to me. So I appreciated that. We had a character announcement for Invincible Versus. I don't watch Invincible. I don't. That means very little to me,
I don't even think that
unfortunately.
character's in the show yet for what matters.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, even then, I wouldn't know then.
Yeah.
Um, but hey, you know, that's cool. Glad that you're getting more content if you like that. This one looked interesting. Orbitals. It's a co-op game that is very 80s retro anime aesthetic.
Yeah, that one did look
And
cool. That one was on my list of like, oh, I think this looks interesting and might want to try to check it out.
it's just they set a very distinct visual goal and they went for it, and I think that they nailed it. So I appreciate that. As far as co-op games go, you know, I feel like this is one of those genres that's been a lot lately. There's been a lot of
True.
these games coming out.
Very
So, you
true.
know, are we going to see the same exact tropes for like how these things work? I hope that they're able to innovate there. But even if they don't, at least it's like visually distinct. I'll give them that. We had the Diablo thing where fucking the big demon came out and he fucking made fun of corporate values, I guess. That was that was fun. Did you see that?
I think I missed the corporate values part.
Oh yeah, he was like he came out and he was like, who are these mortals here? Like this we have influencers and developers and executives, the worst of all. And it's just like,
I think I
okay.
definitely missed this. I
Yeah,
just
no,
saw
it
the
was
the announcement trailer part.
I mean, it sucks because it came out of Blizzard, right? So it's just like
Yeah.
I don't know if how much I feel if this is genuine, but you know, I appreciate the humor where it was. But yeah, that was just like a lead into the Diablo for Lord of Hatred
Mhm.
expansion.
Mhm.
I ain't played Diablo for like a decade, so yeah. Then we had Deadpool joining Marvel Rivals.
Yep.
It's a very distinct Deadpool. I haven't played Rivals in forever,
Me
so
either. I keep
I
almost going back because I'm part of a streaming community and a lot of people in that streaming community still play that game actively. And I'm like, oh, I should just install it at some time to like play some games with them, and I never do. I don't have enough time.
I mean, it's certainly popular. Like it's not
Yeah.
like it's at risk of dying anytime soon. But I don't know. Hero shooters are. We'll talk more about hero shooters later. Um, and then Lenny Kravitz was there, of all things, because he's playing the villain in the 007 game that they heavily advertised last year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, Lenny Kravitz is playing the villain, and he said he's excited to be in a video game, and it's just like that. Okay, that wasn't on my bingo card. So, anyway, Lords of the Fallen 2. That game looks like it requires a very good graphics card to run. That's about all I can say about it.
Yeah,
It looks good.
I've heard
Didn't
some
play the
people
first
say good
one.
things about Lords of the Fallen. I've never really engaged with it.
Yeah, did not play the first one. The second one kind of came under my radar, but yeah, I don't know. Sorrows, hey,
Yeah, there it is. There's Returnal
there
2.
it is. Yeah, there's Returnal 3.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And then No Law, which I don't remember anything about.
Me either.
Was this the zombie game? Because I remember there was a part where they said like, "Wow, another zombie game," and they tried to be self-aware to try and mitigate the fact that it was another zombie game.
I don't remember this one at all.
Okay, well I don't remember any. That's unfortunate for you guys. Jeez.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
Um. Yeah. Oh yeah. Total War Warhammer 40K. Um. Okay. So I don't really care that much about Warhammer. I don't care that much about Total War, but I know that the people who like Warhammer and like Total War are freaking out about that.
Yeah.
Like that's great. I really I love that for them. Like even if I will never play this, I know there's tons of people who are really really happy that this came to be. So that's cool. Um and to be fair, the scale looked really good. Like it seemed like they were showing a lot going on in a lot of different
hmm
places at the same time, and I appreciate when there's a good scale. So if the gameplay actually follows that, then even better. And then we had Ace Combat 8, which looked like a fucking like life simulation game where you also fly planes. It's like you're living on like a fucking fucking God, what are they called?
uh, Carrier?
Yeah, aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
So you're living on an aircraft carrier, and there's like the living and like interacting with the characters section, and like we really care about the drama aspect of this, and then also you fly a plane and blow things up. And I was like, is that how Ace Combat always was? I don't know.
I I think it has been that way for a while. I don't know when the switch happened. I only really engaged with like Ace Combat 2 or something, and not enough to get to any of the narrative parts of it.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I know that Ace Combat 7 actually was very popular,
Yeah.
at least in certain circles. So, getting another one, that's not a huge surprise. I'm just not actually sure what that game is anymore. So, maybe that's to its benefit because now I'm more curious than I would have been. And then Star Wars Galactic Racer. Listen, okay, it's a Star Wars game, whatever. I really like Star Wars Racer. That pod racing game was actually really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But I didn't see a lot of pod racers.
I
Um,
saw exactly one.
yeah, there was one, and then also like speeders and like whatever. There was all sorts of in-universe vehicles, and it seemed like you're not just racing pod racers, but just vehicles in that world. So hey, scope. You gotta keep expanding scope, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how you justify a new game. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that'll be good. They showed Sebulba
They
at the
did.
end. It's like oh, there's Sebulba, haha.
He looked
Phantom
old.
Blade Zero. Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero looks like a game.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know why we were hyping it up so much, Keely.
I feel like there's been a demo out for it a couple times a while back, and like people were very positive on it, but it doesn't look that crazy or like new to me in any way. So I'm not
It
really
doesn't look
sure
distinct.
why people are so hype about it.
Like it must play really well because like yeah, I feel like I've seen this game 5 times.
Yeah.
And then they did the Mega Man thing, which to be fair, I really appreciate the Game Awards Orchestra playing the Dr. Wily Stage 2 theme. Like that was
Sure.
great. But like having a long hallway that just goes to Mega Man and then you show like really really early footage and then you say that this game's coming in 2027, it's just like well that immediately kills that. It's a fucking Mega Man game, and it looks like it's classic Mega Man.
Yeah.
How long will it actually take you to develop this shit? Like, I'm sorry, it's not like it's not like you're reinventing the wheel here,
Yeah. Are
right?
you guys starting development on this like 3 months ago? Like, what happened?
Yeah. Did you spend most of it on like the cinematic reveal? Because like everything's already there, man. Like, come on. But yeah, like, it's just like before the 2027 reveal date. Like, I just can't feel good about that. And that was the penultimate reveal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the big reveal at the very end, and Keeley couldn't help his fucking self. He was like, I got to play this already. It's really great. You didn't get to play it, but I did. Anyway, here's the trailer. It's just like, he has to do that every year.
Every year.
Every year he has to like rub our noses in it and be like, look what I got to do that you haven't gotten to do, but when you will soon, and trust me, it's good. You can trust me because I played it. And it's just like, okay. And it was a fucking hero shooter.
It
And don't
was.
get me wrong, it's the same people who made Titanfall. Very well regarded. Apex Legends developers. It's called High Guard. I appreciate how destructible the terrain seemed to be. That there was a lot going on. I don't know if there's room for more of these. If there is, then great. If there isn't, then that means they have to dethrone a different game to make room for this. Like, it's the same. We like earlier in the year, I was talking about how Sony had plans to run several gotcha games, essentially like live service games, and they had to cut so many of them because they realized that they couldn't. They were directly in competition with themselves by doing that. There's only so much. There's only so much space
Yep.
that you can do that. So having yet another hero shooter, I don't know, man. Like, don't get me wrong, it looked good as far as they go, but yeah, I don't know. And as the ultimate reveal, come on.
There
Like,
was.
I saw the art in the background, I was like, oh, are they actually gonna fucking talk about the next Elder Scrolls game or something?
No, no,
No.
you're still at least 2 years out from that.
Yeah. I
There
think that
was
after
one
Starfield,
announcement you skipped over though.
what did I skip over?
2XKO.
Oh,
It
well,
was the smallest announcement in the world, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I had a laugh about something else afterwards.
okay.
They basically said, "Hey, yes, things are coming to console in January. We already knew that." And they showed us that Caitlyn is going to be the next character.
Yes.
Uh, and then, like, within minutes of that announcement, the 2XKO social things were like, "Hey, everybody, just so you know, this is the last arcane character we're doing for a while." Because I think they knew a lot of people were not super excited about another arcane character. People were hoping for a lot of other things. Um,
Yeah, that's I mean, listen, I didn't watch Arcane.
mm-hmm,
I still haven't watched Arcane. I don't have that context. I understand why they would want to like leverage that because Arcane was very popular
correct.
outside outside of their normal audience, right?
Yeah,
They were able to reach out and capture another demographic that normally wouldn't be engaging with a lot of what their intellectual property was.
yep,
So, great, that's really good for them. But boy, does that end up affecting how they develop new shit.
yeah,
And I can see why people would be upset.
yeah.
I mean, I only know Caitlyn as the League of Legends character, so like it doesn't bug me that much. I do think that it's a little creatively bankrupt when there's so many more interesting characters in League of Legends, but I whatever.
And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Arcane was so big, even outside of what would normally be Riot's demographics. It made a lot of sense that we would see another Arcane character. I was hoping maybe like the next one, not this coming one. Um,
Yeah.
but also, the Game Awards is a platform that is going to reach a lot of wider community than some other places where they might announce characters, like at fighting game events. So, fine, I get it. This is your 1.0. This is your character that you're bringing out and saying, hey, this is the console launch and this character is coming. I'm also way more excited for literally anyone else that they're going to announce in the future.
Yeah. Again, like it's the great thing about League of Legends, and I don't compliment League of Legends very often, is just how diverse the roster is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Yetis, you got fucking scarecrow guys, you got a dude who turns into a pool of blood, you got a dude
Yeah,
who flips people into glue,
yeah,
and then you pick up the woman with a gun,
yeah.
which there's like 15 of those in that roster.
It is also unfortunate that, like, when I think about what Caitlyn's league thing is like she shoots gun from far away and she lays traps, and it's like Jinx is fucking laying so many goddamn traps and has a laser beam. What are we doing?
Yeah, and then also Teemo. This is very much a traps and
Yeah,
distance
yeah.
game. Like we
I
don't need another one of thems.
I hope that they are going, like, I'm sure Caitlyn will be cooler than I am fearing, but also we have two trap ranged zoners already. We don't need another one. And if a sniper is not a zoner, what the fuck is she?
Yeah, and like that's already a difficult thing to adapt into a fighting game. Like,
Yeah,
sniping is so antithetical to that kind of game design.
yeah.
So
It'll be something.
yeah.
It'll be something.
Well, let's talk about the actual awards. I know that we're circling back here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you wanted to highlight? I know that the elephant in the room is that Expedition 33 won so many
Expedition
fucking
33, I
awards.
think, won all but like one thing they were up for.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that it won as much as it did. I haven't played the game. I did you ever finish it? I remember you were playing it.
I fell okay. So I guess I'm in the minority here, but I fell off that game hard.
Okay.
Um so I got through the first chapter and through the majority of the second one. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 chapters, but
Interesting.
it's just they they want you to care so much about this one character for emotional impact, and nothing about him made me like him. Like
Okay.
he was like a very generically nice guy with like a sad he was a sad nice guy.
Sure.
I was like, that's unfortunate for him, but boy are they like really like dialing up the melodrama of this. And then, you know, the other shoe lands, and then it's like, okay, man, I wonder what the consequences of this will be. And then largely in terms of gameplay, it's not really much of a deal.
Okay.
Um, and then like the other thing is like it's so obvious that something's going to happen. Okay, so I don't know if you're ever planning on playing this game. It did win
I
a lot
know
of
that
awards. You know,
people want me
you might
to,
want to
and I'm
play it.
expecting to get it gifted as a like Christmas gift or something, and I'm going to try to play through it.
Okay, well then I'll keep my mouth
I
shut.
do know a bit about some of the narrative stuff, so
Well, point is like it's super melodramatic, and maybe that's a French thing. The other thing is like they showed up in fucking striped shirts and red berets, and
yeah,
it's
in the audience it was just like, oh, I can see exactly who fucking made that game.
and like I get it. Like a big part of like what the identity of that game is it's very French, and I've said as much. It's like it's the most French game I've ever played, but like what does that amount to, right? What is like you can visually imprint Frenchness on the game in like the way that the characters dress and like their accent or their word choice, but does that actually affect the narrative? Absolutely not. And it almost feels like a ploy because it makes it so much easier for it to stand out that way. And I'm sorry that if I'm like dumping on the game and maybe I'm missing something, but boy, does it not seem to be that important of a thing in the actual like playing of the game.
Okay.
Like nothing like aside from some goofy fucking costumes you can get and some explicitly French enemies because you fight some mimes and like the fucking melting Eiffel Tower in the background is like, okay, yeah, I get that this is like set in France, but it doesn't seem like that really matters that much other than for flavoring. and they just fucking drown you in that flavoring. And they show up and they're dressed all French, and it's just like, okay, they're really going there. Wonder how long this gimmick's gonna last.
The whole game.
The whole damn game, and all the way to the Game Awards.
Yeah, people at least in the voting industry, which is mostly
The
like,
voting industry.
well, the media industry that gets to vote on these,
Hmm.
uh, really love that game, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about it too. It won basically everything it was up for.
So just to like before we move on from that, I do want to say I know a lot of people who love that game. I know a
Yeah.
lot of content creators who said that they love that game and they expect it to win most of the things that it's up for, and they disagreed that it should win that many times.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, it was a really great game. It's not that great,
Yeah.
right?
Like, it's a really great game. It shouldn't necessarily win best art direction. It shouldn't necessarily win best XYZ. But
Yeah.
people loved it. I'm trying to think of what there was that was like surprising to me in any of the winning categories, and like outside of a few of them, like you already mentioned, Mario Kart winning for racing slash whatever they call it, racing and sim or something. Uh, the biggest surprises were the ones that are like, these games haven't felt like they were very critically acclaimed, and I'm surprised that they are winning. That was true for the Bonanza one, the Donkey Kong one. Like, people were pretty hot on that game for like a week and a half, and then I feel like I never heard another fucking peep out of anyone.
Probably because the novelty lasts a week and a half.
Yeah. And then for Mario Kart, like, there were people out there saying like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just a better game, even without the
Yeah.
DLC.
I think like no matter how you feel about the game being what you want from out of it, there were so many poor decisions, like not just in the design of the game as it came out, but in the things they decided to change with patches.
Yeah.
Like it was like upsetting to people to the point that they were saying, "I'm just gonna go play Mario Kart 8 now." So
And so like seeing those wins were like weird and surprising to me, but there wasn't really anything else that jumped out. Um, Even fighting game of the year this year is like KOF won it, and it's like, in my head, yeah, it probably should have. It's like the only game that was up for nomination that actually came out this year. There's an argument to be made for 2XKO, but like, even they are saying technically this is early access, so like, fine, sure.
yeah, I mean, so I didn't play Fatal Fury, so I can't say anything about that. I didn't play any of those except 2XKO, and I know that in the time that we've spent with it, I haven't been super positive on it, but that's just because I only hop on to play with you, and then it doesn't feel like I'm in a spot where I can feel good about my gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that if I spent more time with it, or if I was able to spend more time with it, and I was able to go in feeling more confident, then I'd feel better about that game. But that's just fighting games in general, right?
Yeah.
Um, the one of the ones that surprised me was for best sim slash strategy. Final Fantasy Tactics won. So this is this is Tactics is technically like a multiple decades old game.
Yep.
Evilus Chronicles was like a remaster of it, but like the things that they did was they add like voice acting and like did some very rudimentary animation for portraits and stuff like that. So
I
like
heard they rebalanced a little bit of the difficulty in the early parts of the game.
yeah, sure, but then it's like
Yeah.
okay, here's this 25-year-old game winning the 2025. Not no, way more than actually more than 25. That would mean it was came out in 2000. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Um
It's an old fucking game.
so yeah, this it's a 30-year-old game. But yes, so wow, I made myself sad. That's how it's so easy to benchmark when it's at 2025 cuz like, oh, is this game 25 years old? No, it's older. It's like fuck. But yeah, that one. Um, I mean, not that the competition was fierce, but It seemed like a weird choice. I'm really glad that Silksong won something because goddamn, like they delivered with that game,
Yeah.
and I think it's time that we maybe talk a little bit about that now that you actually finished it.
Yeah, we've been running a little long, but let's talk a little bit about Silksong because I did finally finish it.
Yeah, and so when you first set out to play this game,
Yep.
you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna 100% it, and then you 100%ed it.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I just said like, no, I'm liking this game too much. And
That's great.
like the main thing I can say is like the when I finished that game, like yesterday, and even then I was like at the last boss, and I was like, I just looked up online where are some bosses I missed just to go and fight them before I end the game because I don't want this to be over yet. And I still, at like, what, 55 hours total playtime or something, would happily play more of that game.
Yeah, and I think that one of the other things is like you were at 99% complete, and then you found a whole new area,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
Like,
it's just like, oh, I was certainly not expecting that at 99%.
there's so much packed into that game, and it is fascinating because I know it's been like, what, 7 or 8 years or whatever that they were like making it, and it was originally supposed to just be DLC for the first game.
Yeah,
And there's parts of the game, especially narratively towards the ending parts of the game, where I can kind of see like, oh, okay, I think this was what the DLC was going to be, like exploring this stuff, and then they just kept making more and wanting to do more. And it turned
right. And
into just a game that is so big, and you can sometimes be afraid, like, should they have had an editor? Should someone have gone in and said, you don't need to put in this next new mechanic or whatever? And like, nah, they didn't need it. This game is so fucking good.
yeah, I think that the heart of what makes Silksong so good is that the reason they wanted to keep working on it, the reason it was taking so long is because they were enjoying making it,
Yeah,
you know? And it shows so much just in the decisions that they made. And even with some cut content that has been found, it definitely seems like they're going to be adding it back in.
mm-hmm.
There's going to be DLC for the DLC, so to speak. So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Me too.
Just in terms of how Hornet's story plays out, I saw a really good mini documentary, mini retrospective on the game that talks about how motherhood is like the main thing that is the game's about, right?
Sure.
Because like we have Silk, not Silk, we have Lace and grandmother Silk. We
Mm-hmm.
have Hornet herself, who was raised by three separate moms. We have like the very first boss in the game is like the fucking brood mother thing.
Yep.
And like if you read the description, it's like it basically has the premise for the game right there. And so like it's played quietly in very large swaths of the game, but it's very much a game about like motherhood and what it means to raise something and self-sacrifice. And Hornet is very explicit in saying that she's not going to sacrifice herself. You know, she's very confident that she's going to fix things, but she's not going to sacrifice herself. But as you get towards the end, she kind of turns on that. Like she's not entirely sure what's going to happen, but she goes to save Lace anyway. And like, okay, well, now is she effectively a mother character for Lace? It's like it's interesting. And you know, I don't know if did you get the mushroom ending?
I did.
Okay, so we know that they're going to be making another one. There's plans for another fucking game. So, you know, when I'm geriatric in my 70s, I'll finally get to play another fucking Hollow Knight. Really
Yeah.
excited for that.
And I will also say, I know that this game was divisive coming out in large part
I
because of the
I
difficulty.
hate that so many people who like Hollow Knight did not like this game. It's so preposterous to me, Neil. Like if you
It's
didn't play
shocking.
Hollow Knight, I get it. You know,
Yeah.
you follow the hype and you got into Silksong and you didn't know you were getting into whatever. But if you liked Hollow Knight, how can you not like Silksong? It is Hollow Knight refined,
Yeah. I
you
have
know?
no idea.
It just doesn't make any sense.
But I will say, like, the floor of difficulty in Silksong, I think, is substantially higher than where Hollow Knight begins. And since it started as a DLC, I kind of understand how it gets there. You you built this game from the get-go with an expectation that people had
Yes.
played the base game because it was a DLC. I also think
No,
that
yeah,
Hollow Knight
you're right.
gets way harder than Silksong in some
Yes,
pretty specific
absolutely.
places.
I didn't hit walls the same way I did in Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Like, I had a pretty smooth progression through this game. Like, I think the longest it took me to get a boss done was a fucking savage beast fly, and I died like 8 times. And then after that, like, it was like a 3 or 4 attempts situation for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then when I think back to Hollow Knight, I think about like the fucking Soul Master or whatever,
Sure.
the dude who like fucking dives on you. And I remember being like fucking 20 times deep in attempts on that guy, getting real pissed off. And then like the when you're fighting the dudes in the God, what's it called? The You're fighting like those roly poly dudes. There's like four of
Oh, the
them.
roly poly dudes suck. That one was
Yeah,
such a hard fight
and then
in
I
the first
found
Hollow
out
Knight.
I found out that like you could kill the like one of them before you even get into the arena
Yeah.
by like dropping shit, and I was like, oh well, that would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like some like I don't know, like people really hated the fucking poison maggot water, and I was like, just you're relying on a healing mechanic that really isn't there for a lot of platform games. Just don't get hit, man. Like I know
Yeah.
that's like I don't mean to just say get good, but like if you think about it, like
I hear you though. Like
I don't know.
that's what it is for me. Is when I say the floor is so much higher is like I feel like the earliest parts of Silksong start expecting you to do things that are more like the halfway mark of Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
But Hollow Knight is a lot less smooth overall. I agree with you. And I think Hollow Knight, when it is hard, is more unfair feeling than Silk Song ever gets.
yeah. And I think a large part of that is Hornet is just a much more maneuverable character.
Yeah.
And so they expect you to capitalize on that. And if you're playing Hollow Knight when you should be playing Silk Song, then yeah, you're gonna have a bad time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But holy shit. The crest system in general and the different ways that you can make a build based around them, especially the like architect and shaman ones where it's like we're just cutting off a part of your tool set to let you go deeper into a different part is crazy and cool.
It's so
Uh
cool. Very
the
smart.
super smart. The general way that they decided to make the economy work, which I know a lot of people chafed against, never became an issue for me. I thought that the economy felt really well balanced, and if you were ever worried about not having rosaries to open up a bench, there's a system in place to make it so that you have rosaries you cannot lose. Like, it all felt fucking thought out so well in every aspect. I am just in awe that there's basically nothing I can say where I'm like, I think they made a mistake in this game at this point.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly things that I would want different, but none that I can justifiably request, you know?
Yeah,
Um, I think the main thing, like with the economy, is that there was certainly a time where I grinded for rosaries.
sure.
Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like with all the items that, but you don't need to buy all the items, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to buy all the items. Like when you have an economy, like the point is to have the player make some choices, right? And if you feel like you didn't have enough money for everything, that's probably intentional. And if you feel slighted by that, I mean, I get it, but this is a video game. You have to make decisions.
Hmm.
And if you don't want to make those decisions, then you have to sacrifice your time. So I ponied up and I just fucking grinded out rosaries.
Yeah.
So,
But even then, that's what I mean. Is like the rosary grind thing. Like I did a little bit of that too, because I was buying everything in Act Two. If I just said I'm fine with getting some of this in Act 3. By the time I finished the game, like, I had plenty of rosaries left over.
Yeah.
And I even lost
Yeah.
like 700 something on a couple of deaths at some point. Like, it was never that big an issue for me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think people are fucking crazy. Maybe these people were like 30 when they played or like mid 30s when they played Hollow Knight, and they just lost their ability to play video games when Silksong came out.
I don't
Like,
know.
I don't know what they were what were they doing between Hollow Knight and Silksong that like they just got bad at video games.
Who knows? Um, but all in all, like, there's there's some music in this game that I think is absolutely incredible and even better than some of the stuff in Hollow Knight. Um, there's a lot of bosses that I think are just extremely fun, and like the world is just so big and so expansive, and with the way they split up the fast travel systems, it almost feels like there's 2 games worth of game in here. It's just
Yeah,
so
no, I mean
big and awesome.
the fact that they separate it with chapters really helped to like define like what the focus was when they were developing these sections,
Hmm.
right? Because I like you feel like everything below the Citadel, like that was like one leg of development, and then they did the Citadel and then the adjacent areas, and then Act 3 is just basically transforming everything that already is there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's so much, and you know, we waited a long time for this, and I can justifiably say that it was worth the wait. I was very, very pleased with this game, to the point that I 100%ed it myself.
Yeah.
I got all my mementos, all the ones that you can get. There's some that like you kind of have to decide on one or the other.
Oh, sure.
Um,
Yeah, like I didn't do all the mementos, but I did the 100% as far as the game is concerned.
yeah.
But that's fine.
But yeah, I did my journal. I did everything, and it was so fun that I would probably revisit this game. Like, if DLC gets announced, I might just play through the fucking game
Just
again,
shit.
up to
I don't know
up
about
to the
that. It was a
DLC.
long game. I'm probably not doing that, but
I don't know, man. Like, I really
it
enjoyed it.
it's
Um,
super fucking good.
we, we're up against our own game awards.
Mm-hmm.
First podcast in January is when we, recap last year. This Silk Song's a strong contender for one. We can't deny that.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially as our group thing where we normally are doing a little bit of
we
uh
don't. There's no concession that we need to make to each other for this one.
yeah, it
So
doesn't seem like it.
uh,
There's gonna be some games I think we do talk about during that are gonna be I know there's
I
at
think
least
it's really
one.
gonna be us versus the world on this one,
Well,
Neil. Let me tell you.
there's gonna be at least one game that I think both of us are very disappointed in, and there's another one where I'm wondering if we're gonna have a pretty stark difference on.
Is
Um,
it 2XKO?
no, because
Are we gonna include
we've
that?
said that that one is counting as early access and not out yet, so we'll have that fight
Okay.
next year.
Does that mean I don't have to rush Metroid Prime to talk about it?
You don't have to rush it, nah.
I keep telling you, you can play it too. It is
I know. I
available for
didn't realize
The
that,
Switch
and at
One.
this point, it's too late. I have at least one more game that I know I'm going to play for this year before we get there,
Okay,
and I'm going to try to get another
right.
one in. But right now, the one I'm really talking about is Hades 2 because I've put some real time into it now, and we might have some things to talk about with that game when we have a chance.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I still need to finish Hades too. Uh, I have feelings about that where I'm at in the game as well. But yeah, we'll definitely have words for it. The thing that I need to finish before the end of the year is I would need to get Dispatch. Like
Oh,
the crowd reaction to Dispatch and
mm-hmm.
all the nominations it had made me feel like maybe I missed something here. I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to like squeeze that one in before the end of the year. So
I have that one on my list as well as like a do I need to buy this and try to play through it before our game of the year talks?
I feel like that can be a 2-day game if like I really dedicate the time to it. So I don't know.
I can see that. But I think that's going to be it for today, everybody. I know it was a lot of Game Awards talk and a little bit of Silk Song here at the end, but thank you very much for hanging out with us.
I'm sure they wanted to hear what we felt about it.
Me too. Me too.
Anyway, yeah, so I don't know if we're going to have another one before January, guys, but if we don't, then I guess we'll see you when we're talking about our game of the year.
Yeah, hopefully we'll try to get one in before the end of the year for y'all, but maybe the next one's game of the year. We'll see.
It depends on how much news actually happens.
Well,
too.
That's true. This should be. I feel like a lot of companies kind of go on vacation for announcements at this point of the year, so we should be okay.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, I guess that's a video games goodbye from
Yeah.
Neil and I. Ooh, that sounds good.
Ooh. Audio Games is hosted and produced by Matthew Lane and Neil Jimenez. Our theme music is Recharging by Gooset. If you'd like to reach out to us, please email us at audiogamespodcast@gmail.com. New outro, Video Games Goodbye from Neil and I. I can't really say it. It has to be you.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense when you say it. Sounds really self-important when you say it.
Oh boy.
Maybe we need to come up with a more catchy intro with Video Games Hello. Then you can mention me in some way, and then when we sign off, I can do the Video Games Goodbye from Neil and I.
I don't know what the hell math rhymes with hello.
Well, we can workshop this. All right, that's what downtime's for.
We got Matt with our mellow hello.
Oh well, this is why we need to workshop it.